Hi guys, this is Edna with Square Photography, and today I'm going to teach you how to do this floral backdrop, these floral backdrops right here, without having to spend hundreds of dollars on the actual backdrop. I have been recently obsessed with this look of moody flowers in a dark background. As I've been going through Instagram, I've been seeing a lot of beautiful photographers that are doing these beautiful high-end work, but unfortunately I just cannot afford to spend hundreds of dollars on all these different backdrops that I want. So instead, what I did was I went to Etsy and downloaded some of these beautiful canvas textured backdrop digital images. And I went to like a Creative Commons website and downloaded some floral images. And I've also went to Creative Market and purchased some high resolution flowers also. So you'll see here I have individual flowers, bouquets, frames, letters. And I downloaded a couple different ones. I got this is Grace Florals. And they're exactly what I need to just be able to make my own backdrops in Photoshop. So I'm going to be teaching you guys how to do this. So let's go to Photoshop. Here I have a beautiful client of mine. It's already retouched and ready to go. And this is how I gave her the images. But if I wanted to spiff this up and make this look like a Renaissance painting, I'm going to teach you how to do it. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to drop in this purpley, really pretty texture that I bought on Etsy. And actually, before we even do that, let's remove my subject from the background. So here we are. I'm going to go to the object selection tool. And I'm just going to click on select subject because Photoshop sometimes does a really great job of just selecting the subject, at least recently. Now I'm going to press shift on my keyboard and I'm going to go to select here on top, and I'm going to go to select and mask. Now here on view, you can see that you can choose different types of mask background. So I'm going to go to black because my background is going to be like dark and moody, and so this is going to be the closest to what I need. Now I'm going to click over on radius and see if I can get a better selection, and I think that actually looks pretty good. And I'm going to go to red just to see if all the little hairs are showing up. Everything looks perfect. Actually, I think it's done a really great job. What I'm in the habit of doing also is shifting the edge over just a couple, maybe 7 pixels, maybe a little more, just so we make sure that we don't get any of the background that we originally had. And I'm going to feather it because you should always feather, right? I mean, you're going to have some blur edge just a little bit. You don't want that super crisp edge. That's what a lot of people make as a mistake here. And I'm going to smooth it out just a little bit, add a little bit of contrast. And let's see how that looks. Here to output, we're going to output new layer with mask. And I'm going to press OK. So here is my new layer masked out. This is my old image. That's the new layer. Now we're going to bring in the purple background on top of my background image. I'm going to add that purple textury canvas background. So here we go. I'm going to move this over, you guys. Right over here. Normally I have this on another monitor, but we're going to move that over right now. Let me get rid of this. All right, let's stretch that out to the edges and press enter. And that already looks beautiful. I mean, look at what a difference that has already made, but wait till you see it when it's done. Now I'm going to darken that up just a little bit because I want it to be a little bit moodier, just like that. I think that looks good. And now we're going to go in and we're going to add our flowers. So right here, we're going to drop in some flowers. Let's go to Mysterious Floral. We're going to go to individual flowers, and I'm going to move this over to the other monitor so you guys can see as I drop them in. But let's start here. And you don't have to worry a lot about resolution because we're going to really add a lot of texture to this. We're going to darken it. We're going to do a lot of stuff. So I'm just moving them around and kind of just playing with them and just using my eye to just figure out where I want this or these flowers. Like, it doesn't have to be any particular way because it's just going to be sort of in the background, a little bit blurry. But I'm just adding them in now, having some fun, seeing where I want things. And I just want a mishmash of just different flowers doing different things. And I'm just playing, guys. Like, a lot of this stuff is experimental, especially when you're just, you know, trying out something new. Make a whole bunch of different copies and see what you like. Like, don't be restricted and don't be scared. Just go for it, you know. I'm going to drop this one in behind. So in order to drop flowers behind other flowers, you know, here's your layers palette. You just grab that flower and bring it all the way to the bottom and it'll go underneath the other flower. So same thing with like the petals. If you drop them in and they're on top and you want them below, just grab that layer, press your mouse button, your left-hand mouse, and then drag it down to the bottom and drop it wherever you want it. And if you want to make them smaller or larger, it's Control-T for transform. And then now in Photoshop, you can just grab the corner and it doesn't make it wonky like this. It used to be like you would have to press Shift to do that. But now all you have to do is press the corner. And there you go. I think that's beautiful. And you can also transform them horizontally or vertically, however you want to do that. You can go to the edit, transform, and you'll see all the different options here for transforming. But this is already looking gorgeous. And all we're doing right now is just bringing in flowers and having some fun and playing with this look that I love now with these dark, moody florals. I mean, I'm just, right now I am obsessed, you guys. I'm telling you, there are nights where I don't sleep just because I'm going through photographers' Instagrams and like hating on them. Absolutely just like, oh my God, I want that background. But you know, sometimes we can't afford it. Like I only charge about $500 for maternity sessions, and I can't spend $300 or $400 on a maternity session. Yeah, it's an investment. And if I find that I want one, I may order one. But a lot of times if I had something where I wanted to do something light, like I'm going to have to buy another flower background, like, you know, and then these things will be out of trend in another 6 months. And then what, right? What are you going to do? All right. So I think I like that. I think that's looking pretty good. Drop that to the bottom. I like that. I think that looks good. Wait till you see how we finish it off here. And you can move them around too if you decide you want to move them around. All right. Sorry, guys. Okay. So I think I'm going to leave it as is. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab all of my flowers and I'm going to select them all. So I'm going to start at the top and go all the way to the bottom of my flowers and press Shift and then click down. And then I'm going to copy them all, and then I'm going to merge them with Control-E. So I have one layer with all of the flowers already merged, and then another layer with all of the flowers that are not merged. And I'm going to put all of these in a group. See this little folder here? That's a group of, and I'm just going to take the little eyeball off so you can't see those flowers. So now I have a layer with flowers. I have a layer with the canvas texture. I have a layer that's separated with my beautiful client here. And I always have my background layer just in case. Now, the reason that I did that was because I might change my mind on the flower placement, and then I don't want to have to bring all the flowers in and do all of that work again. So if I ever decide that I don't like this one, I can start all over again with those images in the group. But for here, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to lower the opacity on these because I think they're a little bit on the bright side. So I'm going to darken them just a little bit by lowering the opacity, just like this. And I'm actually even going to go in and I'm going to darken them a little bit. So let's go to curves and darken them just a little bit. I like that, just like that. That looks beautiful. And now what I'm going to do is I am going to, again, take those two layers, the curves layer and the flower layer, and copy them. I'm obsessive about this because I like to have my separate layers already how I want them. And now I have a layer that's, again, merged with just what I want with the curves and the darkness and everything. So at this point, what I'm going to do is I am going to, actually I'm going to merge these two layers right here. Let's merge these two so I can actually already have the background. And I'm going to add a vignette. So just on the background. So I'm going to grab my lasso tool right here, and I'm just going to make a sloppy circle right here. And I'm going to feather it, Shift F6. Let's feather it to 500. Now let's try that again. Shift F6, 500. And now I'm going to invert it, Shift Control I. So now the marching ants are on the outside. And I'm going to darken those edges even more. Can you see that, guys? How I'm darkening those edges? I like that. Right there. I'm going to press OK. And now what we also need to do is we need to give her a little bit of a shadow right behind her. Like the light's coming from this direction over here. Right over here. So I think the shadow would probably be right around here somewhere. So let's darken that up. Again, we're going to do about 500. That looks a little bit more natural there, doesn't it? There we go. I think that looks really good. And now what we're going to do is we're going to, on top of all of this, we're going to add a texture. So I have a whole collection of different textures. This one's from I Inspire. You can get them anywhere. You can get them on Etsy. You can get them anywhere. It's just an additional texture you're adding on top to give it a sort of a linen look. Like the linen texture of a canvas. I'm going to put that right on top. And again, I'm darkening this up so it doesn't lighten everything. I'm just darkening it up. And now we're going to use the overlay right here. Okay, guys? So we're not leaving it on normal here. We're going to overlay it. And I'm going to drop the opacity down. That looks pretty good to me right there. And now we have the linen texture on her also, but I don't really want a lot of linen texture on her. I'm going to remove it a little bit from her face. So let's do that. Let's add a mask right down here on the corner. And let's get a brush, a nice soft brush. Soften it all the way. I'm going to go to 50%, and I'm just going to start removing from areas where I don't want that linen brush, the texture to show, sorry. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. Now, I feel like she's a little bit bright for the background. I want her to be a little bit moodier. So I'm actually going to click right on her image here, and I'm going to go to curves, and I'm going to darken her up just a little bit. Until she looks right. I think that looks really good. But I do want to darken up the side of her face a little bit more so it looks a little moody. I'm just going to use the burn tool here. Soften it right up. Let's darken that edge of her face right there. Maybe the edges over here. Darken it up, right? I mean, there wouldn't be a lot of reflection coming this way, so we're going to darken that side up also. Maybe over here. Wherever there might be some shadow, let's darken them up a little bit. And I'm even going to dodge a little bit here on this side of her face. I'm liking that. I'm liking that a lot. And as a matter of fact, since the light's coming in from this side, I'm going to go to that background layer. I'm going to make a little spot of light on this side. F6, let's do 200. And let's brighten that spot up. Oh, you know what? I've got something going on here. I've already feathered 500, so let's go back to 0. And let's do that again, just on the background, not on her. See how I'm on the background here? I'm going to go Shift F6, sorry. Let's do 100. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, that's nice right there. There we go. What do you guys think? Do you like that? I am just in love with this look. It's so beautiful. Now, I feel like here, there's a weird transition here. I'm going to make this side just a little bit darker so her hair doesn't look weird there. I'm going to go to 200. I'm going to darken this area just a little bit for a better transition between the hair. Or I can even go in to the mask and just make, so you don't want it really soft. You want it like pretty hard, maybe around 80 something %. I'm going to go to 85%. See how that looks. And you can remove, oops, sorry guys. Let's go to brush. What am I on? Brush tool. Sorry guys. There it is. Let's go to 100% and let's remove those little edges. So it looks like a better transition. What I also like to do is I have brushes that are hair, literally hair. Let me show you guys. Where are my brushes? So let's go to brush settings and you can see I have hair brushes right here. So if you want like a softer transition to hair, you can use these hair brushes. Do you see that? These are really great for when you want that edge not to look like a straight brush. You can use these like hair brushes. And that'll allow you a really nice smooth transition. All right, I think I'm liking that. I think that looks pretty good. I think we've gotten rid of that little awkward edge. And I think that looks like absolute perfection. I don't know. What do you guys think? Now we're just going to squish it all together. Let's save this as a PSD. Just in case we want to play with it again. And then I'm going to smash it all together. Merge it with Control E. And now we're going to save it as a JPEG. And that's it, guys. This is how you get these beautiful backdrops that you don't have to purchase for hundreds and hundreds of dollars. You can do this with floor length images. You can do it with anything. It doesn't have to be an image like this, but I am absolutely in love with it. I think it looks fantastic. As long as you go through those layers of adding, you know, the texture, the linen texture, and the darkening up those edges. But you can do this with light, bright images. You could do it with dark and moody, whatever you guys like. Anyways, I hope you guys found this helpful. I hope it saves you a lot of money, because it's definitely going to help save me a lot of money. Do me a favor, guys, comment down below anything at all, because for some reason on YouTube, if you don't comment, like, it's really difficult for people to find this video. So just comment, and if you like this type of these types of tutorials, then please just like and subscribe. If not, a comment and a like would be awesome. Thank you guys for stopping by. Don't forget to choose happiness, and you guys have a great day.